Let's talk about mergers and acquisitions in large technology companies. And I want to go through today on the three main type of deals that you'll see in big tech companies. And I don't care if you're just an aspiring entrepreneur looking to buy a business, or looking for your startup to maybe be absorbed by one of the tech giant, or maybe just curious about the mechanics of M&A. Like, we've been involved at this point in almost $1 billion worth of transactions ourselves. So I hope you will learn something new at least. So to start with, why tech companies purchase other firms at all, right? In the end of the day, the tech industry is a super vibrant ecosystem, right? It's constantly evolving with new ideas, new innovations. Like, I used to be a partner in investment banking in a VC firm called Wikix, and I remember we had a drone company in our portfolio when drones just started, that got like massive interest from some really big companies that saw something like this working for the first time, right? So the reason is, when they see that, and the beauty in this space is that not a single company, like there's no one single company that can dominate like every innovation. And that's where M&A comes into play in this sector, right? Especially in tech or just in any sector, because there's always this new kid, working in a garage, inventing something new. So, but then you're asking maybe, but why big companies buy smaller company, right? Well, like we said, in the tech world, innovation is king, and no matter how big or smart a company is, they can't come up with every cool new idea, right? Sometimes the next big thing just start in someone small place, and the big players are just thinking, hey, we gotta have that, right? And I'll walk you through in a second on what they want to have specifically, because it can be the team, it can be the tech, it can be the revenues, it can be market share. That's why you see companies like Facebook bought Instagram or WhatsApp, right? And they paid like what seemed back then to be a massive premium on both of those companies. Like, I remember when they bought Instagram for $1 billion, people thought they're crazy. Now people think it's the deal of the century, right? So there are few reasons why those tech giants go shopping for those other companies. So sometimes it's literally just about the people. They spot a team of, kind of like, call it like genius whiz kids, and they might even work on something that is not even exciting for the big company, but the big company know that they're capable of creating magic if they're given the right project with the right potential, right? So this type of acquisition, this move called acqui-hire. So imagine you're working on an app or whatever, and that's maybe not exactly groundbreaking app, but your team talent is like undeniable. So a big company might buy you just to get you and your team on board with their business, right? Because they don't want to lose talent. You see it a lot now with like Google and ChatGPT and all those companies fighting for AI talent. So it's fascinating to see. They're buying other companies for talent, or they're just paying tons of money for the right engineers to stay in their companies. So that's talent, right? Other times it's about speed. It's literally because building something from scratch takes ages, right? Even for big companies. But buying a company that's already kind of like on the right track, got momentum, it's much faster, right? It's like the ultimate shortcut in business and in the tech space specifically. So let's do a bit of a deep dive on each of those three main type of deals so you get a sense of it, right? So we talked about acqui-hires. So it's less about what your company does and more about the amazing team that you have in that case. And the focus there is just on hiring talent and not necessarily buying the products that the business got. Like, when you see acqui-hire acquisitions, you will not see really prices of those deals on news, because usually shareholders lose money on those deals. Investors, like everyone in the deal, they're not really making money, but they look good in the news to show that, let's say, Google bought your company, for example, or whatever. Next type of deal in the tech space is talent plus IP. So when you see talent plus IP acquisitions, here it's about both your team and what you're working on, right? And maybe your project isn't a home run yet, but it has potential. So a big company will buy you for that, right? Instagram is an example for that. There wasn't revenues at all, but there was the potential. And then there are what we call stock purchase deals. This is the kind of like the whole enchilada, right? This is when the company is buying out everything, your team, your tech, your revenues, everything else. That's kind of like when Facebook bought WhatsApp, right? It was already making tons of money, and they paid super premium. I think they paid like $17 billion for a company with everything involved, right? So let me go through the process a bit. If you're familiar with the process, you might be familiar with the process of acquisition already. I'll maybe make a bit of adjustments for the tech space, right? So if a big tech company shows interest, first of all, it means that you're in a good spot if they're looking to buy your business. They come to you, which usually means that if a big company is coming to you, a big tech company, it means that they're willing to pay a premium to get what you have. If it's one of the massive ones, right, like the Google, the Facebook. So you need to be flattered. From there, they'll move it to conversations, like early conversations. And if they like what they see, then they'll send you some kind of a letter of intent, an LOI, which is basically saying, hey, we're seriously considering buying you. Now, it's not final, but an LOI is kind of like a strong maybe. After the LOI, there's a lot of checking, kind of like under the hood, what we call due diligence, to make sure everything is as great as it seems. And when everything checks out, you move to the final agreement. So it's a lot of paperwork involved, but it outlines like everything, right? Who's being hired, what tech is being bought, and all the legal stuff with the small details. And the best part, of course, if everything goes well, the little company gets tons of resources and support like never before from the big company. And the big company, they get fresh ideas, fresh talent. So it's win-win for everyone. And that's why you see tons of acquisitions in the tech space. A lot of companies, I think Google did hundreds, if not thousands of acquisitions, and that helped them grow their business like nothing else. So hopefully you got the idea of what acquisitions in the tech space looks like. Like I said, it's acqui-hire deals, it's the talent plus IP deals, or full stock purchase deals. So yeah, go create the life that you want. I love you. Bye-bye.